Good evening. The March 19, 2019 meeting of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners will come to order, and we're pleased to have with us here this evening Purchasing Director Bill Peacock to lead us in our invocation. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledge to the flag.
Please let us pray. Father God, we stand before you this evening with humble hearts for all the grace and blessings, so thankful for all the grace and blessings that you provide to us in the past, in the present, and in the future. Father, we're so thankful for this evening. We're thankful that you've allowed us to come together to conduct the business of Douglas County. I pray that you instill in each of the commissioners a sense of duty and a sense of a desire to uphold not only the law, but also those things that would benefit the citizens of Douglas County. Father, we're thankful for you. We're thankful for your Son, Jesus Christ. We pray that he be present with us this evening as we conduct this business. And Father, we pray that everything we do and say would give glory to you. And we pray these things in the name of your Son. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with judgment and justice for all.
Real quick, Madam Chair, point of order.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Vice Chairman.
Thank you. With the floor being yielded to the Vice Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, I'd like to call to the front of the podium Master Sergeant Colt Mayfield for a special presentation.
You guys may know Heath Cowart. He is second in command over in Fleet, and right now he is serving overseas in the National Guard in Afghanistan. He contacted me about a special gift he would like to give to the chairman, Ramona Jackson Jones, and to the county administrator, Mark Teal. These are flags, and I'm going to let you read what's on the certificate.
All right. To certify this American flag flew over the train, advise, assist, command, East Headquarters of Tactical Base Gambari, Langham Province, Afghanistan, on the 15th day of January 2019 during Operations Freedom Sentinel. As this flag flew, it symbolized the sovereign power of the United States of America and the unshakable resolve to keep our country safe.
And now I will be relieved of duty by the other gentleman who will be presenting this.
Yes.
If you want to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Son Gonzalez, the United States Army National Guard. Presented to Mark Teal, Douglas County Administrator, presented by Sergeant Major Robert H. Cohart. To certify this American flag flew over the train, advise, assist, command, East Headquarters at Tactical Base Gambari, Laufman, Providence, Afghanistan, on the 19th day of January 2019 during Operation Freedom Sentinel. As this flag flew, it symbolized the sovereign power of the United States of America and the unshakable resolve to keep our country safe.
Thank you so much. I am just blown away, and I know my county administrator, we're both speechless. We would like to take photographs with you, if that's okay. County administrator and the Board of Commissioners as well. I want our entire board to come. Do you all want to just go down and take photographs?
I think you should have your picture and Mark's first. And
Okay.
then we'll
Can we
join.
do it in front of the seal? So we have the seal in the background?
Just come up, please.
Teal. 1, 2, 3. One more.
Then if we can get all the commissioners in.
Great.
Floor has been yielded back. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. What a surprise. I'm humbled and thankful, and we appreciate your service to this country and also to Heath Coward service as well. I'm speechless. I'm almost about to cry, so thank you. Wow. Thank you, Director Peacock, for leading us in our invocation, and good evening to the citizens of Douglas County, and we appreciate your participation in county government. Public comment, clerk, I believe we have one citizen who signed up. Mr. John Tomaski, if you could come forward. And I ask you to present your subject matter, which I believe is the proclamation. And I ask that you stay within the 3-minute rule. And you may begin.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good evening, everyone. The proclamation has to do with women, broadly their role in society, and it has improved over the years. However, I would like to point out that it has not been easy or quick. For example, following the War for Federal Supremacy, which ended in 1865, there were what were called the Reconstruction Amendments. Among one of them, there was the result that the black adult men got the ability to vote. However, at the same time, the Congress and states provided for black adult men to get the ability to vote. They somehow did not do that for their wives, mothers, sisters, and daughters. So one has to wonder, was giving black men the right to vote a moral decision or simply a political one? Could they have cared for those men more than their own family members who were women? It wasn't until half a century later, in 1920, when women got the right to vote federally. Some states gave them the right to vote earlier in their own state elections, Wyoming being the first. So when we had a public comment yesterday morning, which I don't think respected women as they should be, I felt it necessary to emphasize this proclamation is more than a routine. It's something that very much needs to be considered here and now, as negative attitudes still exist in some quarters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tomaski. We appreciate your contribution to county government. Board of Commissioners, next you have the commission minutes. You have the minutes of the commission meeting March 5th, 2019, the work session minutes March 4th, 2019, and the executive session minutes of March 4th, 2019. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions that need to be made?
No, ma'am.
Being none, the minutes stand approved as presented. Proclamations, which is tab number 4. We have Sarah Ray, who is our executive president from the Douglas County Chamber here tonight to proclaim the month of March 2019 as Women's History Month in Douglas County. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ray. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, here we go. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. Whereas American women have played and continue to play critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as leaders early in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have served our country courageously in the military. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, and the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite the contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Douglas County Board of Commissioners that March is designated as Women's History Month in Douglas County, and join with all citizens in recognizing the many contributions of women to the United States and to Douglas County. So proclaimed on this 19th day of March 2019.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ray, for proclaiming the month of March 2019 as Women's History Month. We have some wonderful women here that are doing great things here in Douglas County, and I salute all the women, not only in Douglas County, but in the United States at large and abroad as well. All the great things that we have done to make a difference in the lives of others. So thank you. If you remain standing. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes. We have a unanimous 5-0 vote and the motion carries. Could we have a photograph with you? Okay, Ms. Ray, if you could come up, it's just one of you. Do you have anyone here, any other women that want to stand with us tonight? Look at the all with.
Women.
Not you, TJ. And hey, you ladies over there too. Lisa, y'all come on. Come on.
Celebrate.
We can't be outnumbered by the guys here.
Two rows? Yeah, can I have 2 rows, please? If the men. We'll go behind. Okay. Take no offense. If you stand there, please. Right? 2 rows. Only one man. Yeah. Okay. Squeezing right there. Okay, super. Yeah. No. Okay. Thank you.
want you here.
All right, I'm taking a couple pictures here. This way, 1, 2, 3. All right, one more. Thank you.
I did not say nothing.
Again, thank you so much, Sarah Ray. I appreciate you. And again, would like to just commend and congratulate all the women for celebrating Women's History Month this month, and also the men as well for celebrating us. Next, I'll move to tab number 5 and 6, Board of Commissioners. I would just, because this item is already tabled, we table again. I consulted with our legal counsel, and he kind of gave me a script, and it says this item can remain on the table unless there is some objections from you all. Is there an objection? If not, I don't have to read 5 and 6. Any objections?
All 3 of them?
No, just 5 and 6, tab number 5 and 6.
Okay.
You good? Okay. We're going to, so that we don't have any objections, we'll move to tab number 7.
So, point of privilege. Okay.
Well, you good?
So I ask that we untable tab number 7, authorization for the Juvenile Public Defender's Office to hire full-time legal support staff for 2 attorneys with benefits and amend the budget.
Second.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Motion and a second. All in favor? Can we prepare to cast a vote? Okay, all in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand, saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, this 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries.
Okay. And I motion that we amend item number 7 to read for the authorization for the Juvenile Public Defender's Office to hire full-time legal support staff for 2 attorneys with benefits. I'm sorry, authorization for the Juvenile Public Defender's Office to hire part-time legal support staff for 2 attorneys with benefits and amend the budget, and that the budget item would come from the general fund.
Part-time, do not
Part-time.
have benefits. do
With
they?
no benefits.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Without benefits.
Without benefits.
Madam Chair, just to clarify the motion, I'm sorry I didn't hear all of it, but I understood the part-time, but that was also to approve as amended? That
Right,
included
to
the
approve,
approval?
to include the approval
Without benefits.
without benefits,
Yeah, because,
because it's part-time.
okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
So, point of order, just to clarify. So these are 2 positions, part-time? Just one more time, just repeat it
No.
accurately, please.
So, we're asking the board to authorize for the Juvenile Public Defender's Office to hire part-time legal support for 2 attorneys without benefits and amend the budget.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions regarding this
Just,
item?
yes, yes, Madam Chair?
Vice Chairman
Just any
Robinson.
question? And the source of funding for this? It's a question.
Source of funding.
The source of funding would be contingency for 2019.
Okay.
You yield back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Mitchell?
And just a couple other, question. So this is not a budgeted item. I guess more for you, Mark. Not a budgeted item.
That's
This will be an
correct.
additional and I know it sounded like I'm assuming that's part of why the attorney's asking the question, and even Commissioner Robson, sounds like we're saying for each attorney, there's a part-time, but there's only one part-time for both attorneys.
That's correct.
Okay. And my other question, though, is more probably for Jennifer and probably you, Mark, as well. The budget that we had before, how did, I'm trying to calculate in my head this part-time based on the numbers we had before as the number on the budget before we brought it in-house and doing what we're doing. How far off are we on the numbers, or you don't have an idea what that looks like?
I have an idea, but I don't have the exact numbers. I'm pretty sure that Leah Brumelo's budget, before she passed away, they were outside contract. So her office personnel and legal secretary is already less than what the current budget is for the 2 staff attorneys now in-house, because we're paying benefits as well.
Right. So to bring it in-house, we've actually, I don't want to call it double, but we've increased the budget by a significant amount, correct?
I believe we have, yes. Now, I won't be able to provide those actual numbers until tomorrow, but yes, sir, I believe we have.
Okay, all right. It just, not that, I'm not saying that there's not the need. I'm just trying to justify how the operation compared to how it once was to where it is now. And maybe you can explain to me your needs assessment as to what you're doing. And I guess maybe you can't, because you don't know what Ms. Brumbelow did. I don't know what.
Right.
Okay,
I see
so.
that she was out of the courthouse and had 2 attorneys and a legal assistant to assist her with both delinquent and dependency cases. I don't know the amount of that contract that was awarded to her
Right.
during her time here.
Right, so, right, and that's why I said I didn't think you probably could answer that kind of, but it just seems a little off to almost, I wouldn't say, I don't want to use the word double the budget, but to increase it by a significant amount to do what we're doing now. Is it because we brought it in-house? Is that why it became significant? Because she didn't contract, or I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
trying
Leah
to.
had a contract for a long time. Part of it's because we brought it in-house and now we're paying benefits, but we're not paying utilities outside the courthouse. And
So
some of
there's
it has
a
to-
utility cost here as well, so that's the savings that we're no longer paying.
Yes, that's correct.
But is that enough to offset what we're trying to do now?
Some of it has to do with increased workload as far as cases, but I don't have numbers on that either. That judge would have those numbers.
Okay.
No, I just don't have the numbers tonight. Sorry.
Okay, all right. All right, I yield.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please. Can we vote? Now we have to wave again? Okay. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed?
No, opposed, okay. It's 4-1, okay, and the motion carries. So we have 4-1, the motion carries. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, next we'll move to new business. Tab number 8, resolution to provide the maximum legal effect of prior applications made by elected officials to enter eligible employees in the merit system and provide for a uniform procedure for any future applications that may be made by an elected official to cover his or her eligible employees by the merit system. Do we have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion regarding this resolution? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes.
Lisa.
Please bear with us. We just have a little technical difficulty. We'll be ready in just a second.
We may have to take a manual vote. We can't.
Okay.
Control Alt, delete, and stop with the program in the background. That's right.
There we go.
There it is.
Okay. now you can do it.
Okay. Okay, we're back in business.
But there's You already voted? Lisa, but it needs to pop back up. Right.
It's not working, okay. Board of Commissioners, we will resort back to our manual process tonight. When our commissioner system has gone in the blink. All right, well, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 5-0, the motion carries. Okay. It's all opposed the same, and the motion carries. Next, we'll move to tab number 9, authorization to reject all bids for the Douglas County Ride Share Facility construction and renovation. Do we have a motion to approve this authorization?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Guider.
I just want to state that I believe the bid process was properly handled and that we should not be doing this. I yield back.
Okay. Any other discussion from any other commissioner?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. Vice Chairman Robinson.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with the process that was taken. Staff was very clear and accurate about how this was handled, and we're just honoring the process and the right way to do it right because it's right. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. All opposed? We have 4-1, and the motion carries. Next, we have tab number 10, authorization to advertise for new bids for the Douglas County Ride Share Facility construction and renovation. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Vice Chairman Robinson.
I agree. Again, just to piggyback on the last one, which was the denial of the prior one, it was also by the Board of Commissioners put in motion an action that enables a clean process, our start over, a do-over, to do what's right. One of the things that the Board of Commissioners committed to by taking an oath is to honor the United States Constitution as well as the state of Georgia's Constitution. With that comes certain fiduciary responsibilities. They must be above reproach. From time to time, it is important that the Board of Commissioners take actions that align with that oath. Sometimes staff is not held to the same standard that we as oversight or as commissioners are held to. And every now and then, we may have to go in a different direction regarding that. So with that, I think it's important to move forward with this with a very clean process. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chairman Robinson. Any other questions? Commissioner Guider.
I respectfully disagree with Commissioner Robinson. I believe it was held, the bid process was followed. And although there may have been some error on the part of the staff, it was certainly not because of the bid. Each person has their own opinion of what's right and what's wrong, and I think it was right. It's the right thing to do, is to have stayed with the original bid. I yield back.
Thank you, Commissioner Guider. Commissioner Carthen.
I agree that we should authorize to advertise for new bids for the Douglas County Ride Share Facility construction and renovation. Anytime we don't follow procedures and processes to the letter, we can be held accountable, not only by our citizens, but by the law, the federal law. And so I just am glad that we have a process where we can go back and do it over and that all minds and hearts are clear so that we know that it's equal and fair. And we want to give the county and the citizens the best possible service that we can. We want to utilize their dollars in the best possible way and give the citizens what we were elected to do. I yield back.
Okay. We done? Okay.
Ditto.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, the system's ready to go. We need to keep. Okay. You're going to try it?
Yep.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes. We'll try it again.
All right.
I'm spoiled with all this technology. I love it. Let's see. Okay, we have 4-1, and the motion carries 4-1. All right, we'll move on, and thank you, Commissioner Mitchell, for making sure that we have great technology. I know you work with this. I'm spoiled rotten now since we have this technology, so I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Next, we have our consent agenda. Tab number 11, authorization to accept additional grant funds from CJCC for the FY19 grant cycle in the amount of $14,208, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents and amend the budget. Tab number 12, authorization to approve an option and ground lease agreement with TowerCom V LLC for cell tower usage at 1765 Wortham Road, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 13, authorize planning and zoning to move $25,000 from occupational license budget and utilize as a grant match for Community Development Assistance Program, CDAP, grant to update our Unified Development Code. Tab number 14, authorization to appoint Pablo Lugo as representative to Region 3 EMS Council, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 15, authorization to approve change order number 3 in the amount of $20,281 for Fire Station number 3, Bill Arp, 2016 SPLOSH project as recommended by the Fire and EMS Committee, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 16, authorization to approve stretcher upgrades for the fire department to be funded through 2016 SPLOST funds as recommended by the Fire and EMS Committee, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 17, authorization to approve an agreement with Faithful Guardian Training Center for EMS clinical rotations, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents subject to final legal review. Tab number 18, authorization to approve the mock alert system upgrade to be funded through 2016 SPLOST funds as recommended by the Fire and EMS Committee, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 19, approval of resolution to amend the 2019 budget for 2018 rollover encumbrances and grants and projects. Tab number 20, authorization to approve the grant design and color palette for the Douglas County Community Branding logo. Tab number 21, resolution authorizing the issuance of and sale of a tax anticipation note, TAN, in the principal amount of $18 million, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 22, authorization to award a contract to the Corbett Group for the Whitestone Culvert replacement project for a total cost of $1,185,998.50 to be partially funded by the 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 23, authorization to approve addendum number 1 to the contract with the Georgia Department of Transportation for acquisition of right-of-way in connection with the Lee Road Widening Phase 2 project, P1004428, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 24, authorization to approve an agreement to purchase real estate to acquire the required right-of-way and easements on parcel 01580250050, located at 2938 Bright Star Road in connection with the John West and Bright Star Roads intersection improvement project to be funded through 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 25, authorization to approve an agreement to purchase real estate to acquire the required easements on parcel 01580250014, located at 2950 Bright Star Road in connection with the John West and Bright Star Roads intersection improvement project to be funded through the 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 26, authorization to approve an agreement to purchase real estate to acquire the required easements on parcel number 01580250016, located on John West Road in connection with the John West and Bright Star Roads intersection improvement project to be funded through the 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 27, approval of agreement to purchase real estate to acquire the right-of-way and easements on parcel number 0158-025-0009, located at 2990 Bright Star Road in connection with the John West and Bright Star Roads intersection improvement project to be funded through 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 28, authorization to submit a grant application to GDOT for funding for road striping under the LMIG SAP program, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. And finally, tab number 29, authorization for chairman and county attorney to sign 2019 Federal Transit Administration certifications and assurances. Board of Commissioners, it concludes our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any particular item or topic?
Yes.
Okay. Vice Chairman Robinson.
That's too full not to say nothing. That was a lot of stuff in there. So let me be quick. Just two directors I'd like to be on standby. First is Miguel Valentin, and behind him will be Jennifer Hallman. Miguel, come on down. Director Valentin, thank you for joining us. Very quickly, I just want to talk about the Lee Road widening and the reset of the funding. Can you speak to that one?
Certainly. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners.
Good evening.
This item is an amendment to an agreement with GDOT that dates from 2010, and it's for the right-of-way acquisition of the Lee Road Phase 2 widening project. It's widening from I-20 down to Fairburn Road, Route 92, from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. The original agreement was in the amount of $6 million, and this supplement will add $6.19 million to the original. So it brings it to close to $12,190,000.
Okay. So very quickly, and I'm going to keep this really tight because I would encourage anybody to go back and take a look at our Transportation Committee meeting, but I want to bring this forward because it was a recommendation. So we've got the $6 million plus 6.18 or 19? 6.19. The Board of Commissioners made a reappropriation of funding out of our SPLOST for a total of, roughly $5 million that was earmarked specifically for Lee Road widening, and we add an additional $6 million out of the SPLOST for economic development. That's $11 million on top of this $12.19 million. Did I get that right?
Well, let me clarify.
Please.
The $12.19 million is for right-of-way acquisition, and we have done a significant amount. In fact, we've acquired all of the real estate needed, all the parcels needed there, and that totaled up to about $6 million or so. So that comes out of the $12 million. So there would be approximately $6 million remaining out of this total, in addition to the county's $11 million, for a total of $17.
I understand, but we added it all up just for the record, recognizing some had already been incurred. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Okay, just want to clarify for my peers that this does come out, our Transportation Committee meeting today with a full discussion regarding this, so please feel free to go back and look at that if you needed to, but I just want to clarify that one. All right. All right, so to that point, this is a project, and I just want to acknowledge this, that Director Valentin came in with this as an assignment to try to reconcile Lee Road. It's something that had been on the books for quite some time. Obviously, it was not, it was basically sloppy work that happened during that time period, BM, that needed to be corrected. There were some mistakes that were handled, admittedly, during that period of time, during the recession, regarding our capital transportation fund. Miguel had a very direct primary assignment to get in there, find the file folders, reconcile this, and fix this and get us back on task. At the same time, simultaneously, as we came out of the recession, as we were blessed by the approval of a SPLOST by taxpayers, we began to repave roads in District 2. It has been being taken care of, but one area, Lee Road, which was before all the other roads, was falling behind. And there's been some public sentiment about Lee Road, and admittedly, it should have been. Should we resurface it or should we not resurface it because we're anticipating widening? We made the call, and thank you, Madam Chair, for your support and cover on that we just made the decision because we didn't know when this was going to come to pass, when we were going to fix this. So we made a decision last year going into this budget cycle that Lee Road would be resurfaced because the intent, once this is reconciled, when do you think the widening will actually happen?
We're going to have to update the plans and some of the studies that were done. So it could take another year before we're actually into construction.
Okay, so you said in our Transportation Committee meeting, you mentioned something about, what, 2020, 2021?
2020, 21, that's correct.
We recognize some money was all the way out to 2028, and you did a very good job of bringing that money strategically back. Is that correct?
Well, it hasn't come back yet, but we're working on that.
Okay, so pay attention. It's 2028. This project got that off. It was 2028. So I appreciate, I just want to acknowledge the work that you did to try to at least get this restabilized. To the citizens that are hearing this, that Lee Road, we did make the strategic decision to go ahead and resurface Lee Road. We recognize widening will occur. We'll lose some of the edges once that happens, whenever it happens. But in the meantime, they deserve to have their tax dollars used in a way that they can experience them on a daily basis. So, Miguel, I want to just leave that alone. You did good. Thank you very much for that. The second one I wanted to talk about, well, let's leave it at that. I don't want to dominate. Thank you, Miguel. You're good on that. No more questions. Jennifer Hallman, please.
Yes, sir.
Director Hallman, let's talk about TANs. Please.
Yes, sir. It's being requested tonight that $18 million be authorized for us to go out to bid for a tax anticipation note.
Yep.
Tax anticipation note, all it is a cash flow vehicle because we receive around 75% or more of our revenue or cash comes in the door the last quarter of the year. Even though our expenditures are pretty evenly smoothed out during the year, this requires us to borrow a tax anticipation note so that we can get the cash to meet our needs during the year, and then at the end of the year, we pay it back. It's due by December 31st every year, and the past 2 years, we've actually paid it off early.
All right. And just for the record, 18 million is not abnormal, and so would you happen to have the TAN history with you?
I do.
Okay. Can you, just for the record, just for the formal record, though we talked about in the work session, and I'll yield after this, Madam Chair, just give the history of TANs from 08 like you did before.
Sure.
Just so the public can sort of envision, in essence, how, you go ahead, and we'll see the pattern come out on the
In
song.
2008, we borrowed $14 million. In 2009, $13 million. In 2010, $16 million. 2011, $18 million. 2012, $16 million. 2013, $10.5 million. 2014, $6 million. 2015, $3 million. 2016, we did not borrow TANs. 2017, $12 million. 2018, $15 million. And then this year, we're requesting $18 million. And let me say that there is a cushion, and it's, you know, with Miguel being right behind me, or spoke before me, we do have a cushion in there because of these DOT projects that we have going on. Most of the projects are reimbursable, so that means the county has to pay the bills first. We have to, or the DOT submits for reimbursement. Sometimes we get that reimbursement from GDOT in a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Could be up to 3 or 4 months. So sometimes we're floating hundreds of thousands of dollars of general fund money for actual from GDOT projects that we will get reimbursed on. So we want a cushion there so that we don't have to stop any projects, or definitely not pay any bills, but definitely not stop projects, so that we can continue on with our normal operations, including GDOT.
Very good. That's sufficient, Madam Director. Madam Chair, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice Chairman Robinson. Commissioner Guider?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Do you, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Don't go away. Do you have a recent history of our digest and what has happened with our digest? Do you have any idea?
For this year of what it's going to do?
No, last year it grew how much?
1.57%.
1.57.
Was new growth.
The year before it grew?
We had an anomaly, it was 5.5%.
Yes.
Mhm.
And because they did a major reval, I guess. And you don't remember the year before it was.
And the
like
percentages I'm giving
it-
you is actually new growth. That 5.5 was not due to reassessments, that was actually new growth in the digest. And then I think the year prior to that was just under 1% that we had.
0.97, I
Mhm.
think. But you don't have any preliminary figures yet for 2019?
No, ma'am, I do not.
You didn't get any figures? Okay. But we are borrowing a month earlier and borrowing how many million more than we did last year?
We're borrowing about $3 million more than we did last year. And we're only borrowing about and again, it has a little bit more of a cushion because of so many GDOT projects we have going on. And we're actually starting the process about 2 weeks earlier than we normally do because at the recommendation of our municipal advisors, we work with purchasing, and they advised that we normally had a 2-week turnaround. We would ask for authorization to go out to bid for tax anticipation notes, and then that following meeting, we would have y'all award the bid. But our municipal advisors gave us the recommendation of giving a little bit more time in between to allow banks to go to their committees. They have all the different legal paperwork like we do to even submit a bid. So we're actually given about 3.5, 4 weeks. We're actually doing it the second meeting
Of April.
in April.
Okay.
And we won't be closing until that week after.
And
So-
last year it was May.
And last year it was May, but we only gave the banks 2-week turnaround. So we're starting the process earlier, so we may be borrowing a little bit earlier, but not as much as what it's looking like.
Is it also allowing more banks to bid on it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. We
So
think the
might
time frame.
Get a better deal?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But there's no reason why we're having to borrow it earlier or more this year over last year?
No, we did have some, last year we had some extra money come in that was not anticipated this year. The sale of the jail helped, and that was around $850,000. We also got a large reimbursement from GDOT earlier on in the year. That was for prior year expenditures, so that helped bump. So when you really look at it, everything, we're about the same. We're starting the process a little bit earlier to give banks a little bit more time, and we're borrowing a little bit more because some of those one-time revenue or cash in that we had coming in last year is not coming in this year.
But just one other question, will this affect any of the BIRs that we are revisiting or anything? A BIR is a budget improvement request
No,
by
ma'am.
the departments and everything.
No, ma'am, this is strictly cash flow.
But
It's
we
just
did-
estimating what we're going to be spending each month based upon our trends and what we think we're going to need for that.
And one other question, there was one other, let's see, the one about the rollover.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that figure was? You've got grants and you've got expenditures, and is there a net figure that you've got there?
Yes, ma'am. The total in the general fund is just over $5 million. But of that $5 million, about 2.1 of that is grant-related. So some of the amounts that we're amending the budget for has an offsetting revenue.
But did we have any excess funds that we did not spend that we're rolling over?
No, ma'am.
We did, okay. All right, I yield back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Guider. Anybody? Commissioner Mitchell.
Yes. And Chief Spencer, if you'll come forth while I have some fun with Jennifer. A few years now, we've actually paid the TAN off a little sooner, even like last year we paid it sooner. talk to the general public about the savings that we did in making the borrow X amount of dollars, returned it because we paid it off sooner, and there was a savings in what we did. And it didn't stop the operation, but it was a good thing to be in that kind of position, though, sir.
Yes, the past 2 years, we've been able to pay it off early because tax proceeds come in, and we actually get money in the bank that we don't have to wait to the end of the year, so that saves us on interest. On the flip side of that as well, even though the interest rates have gone up on the borrowing, the interest rates on the investing has gone up as well. So we were able to make additional interest earnings on the proceeds until we were ready to draw them down.
Understood.
So we saved money by paying it off early, but we also earned interest on the proceeds while they were sitting there while we were waiting on drawing them down.
Absolutely. And I just want to give that the brighter side of the story, even though we're looking at 18 million. I mean, I get the reasoning as to why. Have you looked at, what are the rates doing roughly around about now? I mean, I know we don't know exactly what it is until we actually go out to the market and get that, but do you see any, are we trending up? Or?
We are trending up. Last year, we borrowed at 2.16 was the lowest bid that came in. So I really don't know until we put those bids out there, but I know it's going to be more than that. I would say maybe around the 3%.
Oh, okay.
3 to 3.5.
Okay, all righty. Okay, that's all I got for you. Thank you. Chief.
Yes, sir.
Item 14, 16, and 17. So let's start with item 14 and talk about this, that you want to relieve yourself of duties of the Regional 3 EMS Council, and explain to the public what that's all about and how it's going to help, how it's going to benefit you in doing this, so, and what's going to be happening next. So.
Yes, sir. I was appointed by the Board of Commissioners to represent Douglas County on the Region 3 EMS Council. Previously, before me, it was Sharon Davis, who passed away about 3 years ago. So I've been fulfilling that function for Douglas County. The Region 3 EMS Council is basically the metropolitan Atlanta area, and part of their responsibilities include ambulance zoning for different counties and cities. As you may be aware, over in DeKalb County, they're having some issues with one of the cities, Dunwoody, who was not happy with some of the things that were going on. So they brought that to the EMS Council, and then we're working through that now to make sure that everybody's happy with the services provided.
Right. And
Pablo Lugo is our training captain. He's also a paramedic. He's well qualified for this position. He will represent Douglas County well. He lives here in the county, so he's got a vested interest in making sure that Douglas County is well represented. And I think he'll be a fine replacement. I'm just, with the other duties I have, I'm not able to devote the full amount of time I need to this one particular appointment.
So is there some quarterly meetings, or is it annual meetings, or everyday meeting, or it just went as needed, I guess?
As needed, and then we have quarterly meetings as well.
Got it.
Like every other, excuse me, it's every other month, so.
Got it. Okay, so I get it. I just wanted the public to kind of get a, some kudos on kind of what's actually happening with that. Now to item number 16, the stretcher. The only one question I've got about the stretcher, there's the extra large, or for larger.
Bariatric.
Okay.
Is what, that's the nice word for it.
Thank you. So are we, is that part of this as well, or is automatic based on the mere fact of these stretchers?
Actually, with these stretchers, we have also, this includes the purchase of what's called the bat wings, which allows the stretchers to be used for bariatric patients as well. So we're getting a lot of bang for our buck on this.
Got it.
And these stretchers also should help us save on workers' comp claims, because we roll these up to the back of the ambulance. There's a system that actually grabs the stretcher and lifts it up and slides it into the back of the ambulance.
Wow.
So our people won't have to actually pick up the people.
Right.
Which is safer for both the patients and for our techs and medics that work it.
And how many stretchers are we speaking of?
This is 4 of them.
Oh, just 4, okay.
We already have 3 of these stretchers in other units. When we spec our ambulances out, we started speccing these stretchers out. So we're getting close to having all of them that we need, and that
and
this will take care of the others.
And I think one of the other commissioners talked about the other stretchers, once you kind of go to this, that they will go into surplus, or you look at some other counties or places that might be looking for something, that maybe not as advanced as we are, so.
Yes, any of our equipment that we no longer are using or is outdated, we surplus, and then other agencies can purchase that. We surplus it, it goes to Mr. Peacock, and then it's bid on.
Got it. And last but not least, number 17, with this whole training that you'll be a part of and picking up and seeing some future potential employees of some sort, there's that benefit though. But the only cost to us is more or less hours and time that we'll put in allowing these guys to use our facilities or to be a part of this whole makeup here in Douglas County. So, or am I missing something here?
No, sir. This is for paramedic students.
Yes.
Which we're in need of. Faithful Guardian, basically what we will do for Faithful Guardian is allow their paramedic students to ride on our ambulances and get their clinical time, which is required by the state.
Or just strictly for riding?
Strictly for riding,
okay.
and if they are trained to do certain procedures, they can do that with us as well. But the agreement is that Faithful Guardian assumes all the liability.
And that's what I was going to ask next. Who gets the liability on
Yes.
all this?
So it will be Faithful Guardian for that part. We do this with the vocational technical schools for EMTs and have for years and haven't had any issues. So we feel this is a good thing for us and for the school.
So in the past, roughly, how many, the advantage of you picking up 1, 2, or 15 or 20 of your future chiefs and lieutenants and stuff, or?
Yeah, the advantage to us is we get to see these folks while they're doing their training, and it kind of gives us an idea of what kind of employees they would make if we offered them a position. It also gives them an opportunity to kind of look at us and say, that's a place I'd really like to work.
How many people have you ran off, though? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think any. I mean, who wouldn't want to work for Douglas County, right?
Just kidding. Okay, outside of that, thank you again, and I think this is going to be well worth it, and thank you again for all the hard work that you put in, so thank you again.
Thank the board, and I thank our two Fire and EMS committee members there that listen to us come with all this stuff.
You got it. Okay, I yield back.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Commissioner Carthen?
Can I have Planning and Zoning Director to the podium? Just have a quick question for you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. How are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Sure.
Can you explain to us what Planning and Zoning is planning on doing with the CDAP grant?
The CDAP grant is a Community Development Assistance Program, and what we're going to do with it is submit a grant that would allow us to work with ARC staff and other staff that they'll assign to us to update our Unified Development Code. Our Unified Development Code was first drafted in 2004. And since then, we've been making amendments along the way. I know how everyone loves to sit through a P&Z meeting for 3 hours and then listen to a couple hours more of UDC updates. So this is a mechanism and an opportunity that we can jump on and get and bring it up to speed and give us basically a laser instrument instead of a blunt force instrument, give us real tools to look at different things we want to do in our community that came out of the studies that we just had, the Sweetwater Master Plan, the Lee Road Corridor Study, and of course the Comprehensive Plan. One of the components, one of the work plans that was identified in the work plan of the Comprehensive Land Use Plan was to update our Unified Development Code. Staff has looked at what the cost was that the city outlaid for this effort, plus we've compared with my predecessor's expenditure for the same exercise, and it landed in the $200,000 and $250,000 range. So in speaking with friends at ARC about the CDAP grant, I had first worked with looking at putting in some sidewalks or something like that, because this is a new grant. They've kind of changed some rules. They didn't do construction. They do studies, they do planning, they do, and I was, well, we just got finished doing all these planning studies. But here's an opportunity for us to update the UDC. And so that's what I want to do with it. I want to take the money that we had targeted in the occupational licensing budget, that we were going to create a component for people to go online and get their business license. A noble pursuit and a good one. It's just that with the amount of business licenses that are out there, and the fact that now I've talked to the IT director, and we're going to be extending the software that we currently use. So it kind of took the real need to try to get that component in this year off the table. And it elevated, when I found out about it, the opportunity for us to go after the CDAP grant at a fraction of what anyone else would spend.
Great. Okay. I commend you for looking at the resources and saying we can do something else to help out the citizens. And I agree, the UDC needs to be updated. I think you and I talked about that in my office the first time you and I met. And,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Thank
bringing
you.
that online. So I applaud you for that, and thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Carthen, and thank you so much, Ron. I have one. I want to wrap it up. I'm jealous. Everybody had something to say. If I could bring Director Watson up, and I want to ask about tab number 29, one dealing with the Federal Transit Administration certifications and assurances. The county attorney and myself, we are anxious to sign, but we want to know if you could explain to the public what we're signing.
Yes, ma'am. The certifications and assurances are an annual requirement by the Federal Transit Administration. It's required of all grantees. If you do not sign off on these certifications and assurances, your grant funding dries up.
Okay.
It's especially important to us this year because Federal Transit has been reviewing our CMAQ application for funds to help operate the bus service with. They are close to awarding that grant. The last piece of the puzzle are these certifications and assurances. Once the Madam Chair and the County Attorney signs off on these, we'll put them into the FTA grant system tomorrow, and then shortly, within a matter of days, we should be awarded the grant.
Okay, thank you so much. You answered my question. Thank you so much. We look forward to those documents
Yes,
coming
ma'am.
before our desk. Thank you. All right, Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes regarding this consent agenda. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries. Next, we have the approval of the expenses. Board of Commissioners, I know you all had an opportunity to look at your individual expenses and all of ours collectively. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second in discussion about any of these expenses. We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries. Next, we have announcements, but before I call our communications director up to read the announcements, I would like to yield to Commissioner Mitchell to allow him to speak about his upcoming coffee and conversation. And then, of course, I'll make sure I yield to District 2 Commissioner and Vice Chairman about his announcement about his town hall. Commissioner Mitchell?
Okay, sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just inviting those of you who would like to come out and hang out with me for my up-and-coming coffee and conversation on April 6th. Excuse me, on April 6th from 10 until 2 p.m. and the conversation will be taking place at the Christ Apostolic Life Church at 8510 Newman Street in Douglasville, Georgia, again from 10 until 2 p.m. April 6th is a Saturday, and remember, I provide the coffee, you provide the conversation, and it's been some healthy conversations, so I'd like for you guys to come by and join us. You don't have to be in the district to kind of have the conversation, but it's all about what's happening here in Douglas County. So again, you're invited out to be a part of this, April 6th from 10 until 2 p.m. Thank you.
Okay. You yield back?
I yield back, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Vice Chairman Robinson, if you talk about your...
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Mitchell, August 6th is my birthday. I'm sorry I wouldn't be able to hang out with you on that day, but I get it. It's a good day. Thank you, and I'll be very brief. On Wednesday, April 17th, 2019, District 2 is having a town hall that's totally dedicated to the Lee Road area. We want to level set with our citizens. And it's not just about that road as far as resurfacing, it's also about the expanded as far as widening, expansion across over to ultimately Beaumont and Chapel Hill, the whole area. So we've got consultants that's going to be there having information on display for exhibition regarding maps and intentions. I need you all to come out. We're going to give an accounting of what has happened, what has transgressed so far to get us to this place. We believe it's going to be a very good town hall, and I welcome all citizens to come on out to District 2. Of course, my peers are always welcome at any time to anything I do, but nonetheless, it'll be at 6 o'clock is when the exhibits start. The town hall will start exactly at 6:30, and we will end sharply at 8 o'clock. So again, Wednesday, April 17, 2019, at Deer Lick Park, 6 o'clock, District 2 Town Hall for Lee Road. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to thank you so much, Vice Chairman Robinson. I want to follow up to make sure, Commissioner Carthen, I don't believe you have any announcements. What about you, Commissioner Guido, before? Okay, our Director of Communications, if you could come forth. And if you could just highlight what's going on at the Mount Vernon and 92 intersection with the Sheriff Department, if you could make the citizens aware of that as well.
Sure, yes, absolutely. Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Commissioners, staff. In regards to Highway 92, Fairburn Road, and the intersection of Mount Vernon Road in Lithia Springs, Douglas County Sheriff's Office is assisting the county. Beginning tomorrow morning, 2 deputies will be at this intersection. Helping the flow of traffic that has been bottlenecking this area during morning peak hours. So that's something to let the public know. Chairman Jones, Transportation Director Miguel Valentin, along with County Administrator Mark Teal, met yesterday after citizens expressed concern for that intersection and the flow of traffic with school buses. There is a press release on the website, celebratedouglascounty.com, for further details.
Thank you.
You're welcome. In addition, for additional announcements to be made, we'd like to let the public know they're welcome to join author Vanessa Fortenberry tomorrow, March 20th, for a workshop designed to give children inspiration for writing. It's an exciting time and opportunity for participants. They should bring their favorite picture book, and it's an event for ages 8 through 11 years. Wonderful family event. The workshop will be happening at Douglas County Public Library, located at 6810 Solomon Drive in Douglasville. For further information, the public can contact Shanna Freeman. Phone number is on the website as well regarding the announcement. The celebration of Douglas County Arts, Culture, and Humanities Forum is happening and will include a panel on March 21st at 6:30 p.m. at the Douglasville Conference Center. Lots of events happening, including members of the Douglas County Creative Alliance, who will provide information about their organizations to the audience. This is happening again, March 21st at 6:30 at the Douglasville Conference Center, 6700 Church Street. For further information, Director of External Affairs Tiffany Stewart Stanley can be reached. The Douglas County Special Olympics returns for its annual event at New Manchester High School, 4925 Highway 92, Route 166. This is happening on April 4th. track and field events for individuals with special needs here in Douglas County. The event is open to the public, and admission is free. Again, an exciting time to celebrate April 4th for the Douglas County Special Olympics. For further information, Leanne Lowen, who's the supervisor of programs with the Douglas County School System, can be reached. And that is all for this evening's announcements. Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you so much, Communications Director Rick Martin. We appreciate you taking the time to impart our announcements for today. For the commissioners, or is there any other, okay? Vice Chairman Robertson.
All right, real
before I
quick, we're
ask
at the
if
end. I'll
anything
make
else
it
to come before
related
we
to
vote.
a previous question to be accurate about this is a legislative session. But just as a point of clarity, we talked about a couple of policy topics earlier, and specifically on behalf of our chairman of our procurement, the new purchasing committee will be coming out with a more formal recommendation on how to go forward, whether it's federal, state, or local. And so whether it deals with our pool of vendors, whether it deals with our processes, or whether it deals with our overall policy regarding purchasing, we do look forward to making a formal recommendation to the full Board of Commissioners for consideration. I just wanted to make sure I highlight that, just for the record, Madam Chair. No action needed. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. If there's no other business to come before this board, this meeting stands adjourned.